As many of you all know, I am a huge Legend of Zelda fan and have a take on something that I've been wanting to talk about here that I feel like a lot of people would not really agree with me with when I say this, but I actually enjoy the DS Zelda games. A lot of people actually don't even talk about these games as much, and in my opinion, I kind of see them now as very underrated Zelda games. I remember Christmas of 2008, and the reason why that day for me is very memorable is because we were at a family friend's house during that day on Christmas, and on that day, not only did I watch for the very first time the ending of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but my family were able to get me the limited edition Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass DS Lite, taking place right after the Wind Waker and letting me explore this world playing as Wind Waker Toon Link, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated companions in this series, Linebeck. I remember playing the Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, and for those of you that have never played the game, I'm going to try my best not to go into as much spoiler story details, but I will say that this game is of course a actual direct sequel of the Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. The premise of this game is that basically Link and Tetra, they actually board onto this really weird, scary looking ghost ship. Tetra gets basically kidnapped, Link gets fallen off a board, and basically that is pretty much it. In there, he actually gets introduced and meets his a fairy companion. The other thing that this game also did, for it being the very first Zelda games on the DS, it literally used this thing beautifully. If you want to go ahead and you want to blow out some torches or use some items, go ahead and use the microphone. You want to go ahead and move around Link or even make notes on your map, go ahead and use the stylus. You want to go ahead and copy a map that's on the top screen to your normal map on the bottom screen, go ahead and close it and then open it back up, and that'll actually go ahead and basically print it onto your bottom screen. It was very, very unique and just very smart and very creative with how well they took advantage of the DS. The only problem that I will say that I did have with the game was you continuously having to go back and forth into the Temple of the Great Ocean King. That was honestly the only big complaint that I will say that I did have for Phantom Hourglass. It was a really good intro though for the Legend of Zelda games to be on Nintendo DS, but other than that, it was pretty okay. The next game that I also want to talk about here that I also think is very underrated is the other Zelda DS game, and that is being The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. The day that I got this game, I remember back in 2009, 2010, and I drove to my local Walmart with my dad, and I remember seeing the game there on the shelves and me basically begging my dad if he could buy that game for me. And I remember that long drive back home though, it just felt like it was ages or just forever, because I did not have my DS at the time, so I couldn't really be playing it in the car. But because it was a very foggy day, like the fog was very, very thick, my dad had to drive like basically 20 miles per hour, if not maybe less, just to make sure that we would be, home safely. It was very, very thick fog. But as soon as I got home, I went ahead and I inserted the game into my DS and I started playing it. And in my opinion, out of Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks for me is probably the best one. It has the best music, the best story, the best cast of characters, and for the very first time, you actually have Princess Zelda as a companion. Like I mentioned, I don't want to go into so much spoiler details, but let's just say the story of this honestly is really great. I love all of the characters. All of the characters are memorable. Of course you have Link, you have Zelda, you have Chancellor Cole, who is the villain. You also have Byrne, which is kind of an anti-hero really. He has, again, kind of in the same vein as Linebeck, one of the best character arcs. But not only that, the main thing that I love and adore about this game for me more so is the music. I think The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks probably has the best music out of any of the Zelda games. Maybe tied or maybe in second place for me. It's kind of hard for me to think about it really, or at least pick a favorite one, either between Skyward Sword or Spirit Tracks. But Spirit Tracks for sure has like one of the best soundtracks ever. In the same vein, you do kind of have to go back to a certain temple to go ahead and progress through the story. It wasn't that much of a chore as it was comparing it to how it was in Phantom Hourglass, where it was a full kind of like sequence to do so. But other than that, yeah, that is basically The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, and out of both of these games, I think Spirit Tracks is the one that deserves a lot more love and attention, and potentially a remake. It is actually itself another sequel to Phantom Hourglass, and I guess in a way to Wind Waker as well. This actually takes place 100 years after the events of Phantom Hourglass. The land of Hyrule has drastically changed. It's no longer flooded. There's now, you know, train tracks and everything. That's kind of the way of transportation around this game. Yeah, that's basically it. I in my opinion, I believe that these games are super underrated. I believe they deserve way more attention, way more love, and I also think that they deserve a remake as well. I really do believe, more so with Spirit Tracks, that that game is a highly underrated Zelda game that not that many people talk about, and it just makes me very sad that nobody really talks about this game. It's just so weird to me. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have played any of the Zelda DS games. I do want to say that I do have planned, at least at some point here, to potentially start live streaming here on my YouTube channel, and as well go through a lot of these Zelda games. I have my Wii U, and I actually, before the Wii U eShop shut down, I actually bought Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks on the Wii U eShop, and would love to go through these games with y'all. But yeah, with that being said, that'll be you know, something planned out for the future. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next blabbering session. Bye guys.